Viewmasters, it's the podcast that we do. Viewmasters, talk about movies that we view. Viewmasters, my friend Eric and me Joe. Viewmasters, hey, let's start the show.
Hello, and welcome to the Viewmasters, episode 221, Spiders. My name is Eric.
My name is Joe. This is my favorite spider-based movie. Sorry, every Spider-Man movie.
Well, some of them definitely deserve that. Perhaps, though, not the ones with Jake Gyllenhaal, which include this one and Spider-Man Far From Home.
That's true. I would say that those are worthy of favorite spider movie praise.
So actually,
what a strange. Go ahead.
I was going to say the actual name of the movie. We watched a movie called Enemy. Which featured far more spiders than I expected.
Yeah, I was surprised by the volume of spider content in this movie.
I was surprised by almost everything in this movie.
Yeah, I would go so far as to say that as well.
This was a real weird one. And I think straight up, it is safe to say that there will be spoilers.
Yes, there will 100% be spoilers.
I cannot think of any way to discuss this movie without just ruining it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because otherwise, we're just going to end it right here.
I would say, it's weird, go watch it. Goodbye.
That itself is also a pretty good review.
Yeah.
Where to start?
So this movie is directed by Denis Villeneuve, who did Arrival and Blade Runner 2049, and another movie with Jake Gyllenhaal called Prisoners. Yes. And it's based on a novel called, I believe it's called The Double.
Yes, I believe so.
By Jose Saramago. Yep.
These are all facts.
I am just naming facts about, not even about the movie, like the plot, nope. Just about the movie itself.
About Denis Villeneuve.
Right.
Who, I'm glad that you took the crack at pronouncing him first.
I'm sure I did it wrong, but I don't care. I stand by it.
It's fine. So this is, I was looking him up, because I know I've seen several of his movies. I just didn't know which ones he had directed prior. But I have seen Prisoners and The Arrival. Or is it just Arrival?
I believe it's just Arrival.
Okay. Is The Arrival the one with Charlie Sheen, where he's like a radio guy getting signals from space?
It might be.
Okay.
I do think that there is a different movie called The Arrival, but I don't know what it is.
But yeah, I've seen Prisoners and Arrival and Sicario, which was...
Yes, he did do Sicario.
All three of those movies are excellent, and would highly recommend them.
I have not seen Sicario, but we did watch Prisoners within the past couple weeks.
I saw it a couple months ago, I think.
Yeah, that movie is intense.
Yes, it is.
To say the least.
I don't know if it's we're just a mini sidebar about Prisoners. Sure. I don't know if it was just because Jake Gyllenhaal's character in that movie is named Detective Loki, But I expected there to be like some weird sort of supernatural weirdness happening at some point.
I can see that.
Yeah.
It would have sort of fit, honestly, with just the feel of the movie.
Yeah. There is none. It is pretty realism based. But just I don't know. Maybe don't name your main character after a trickster god.
Well, and it was weird too that Hugh Jackman's character's name was Brian Thor. So, you just expected there to be some sort of something extra there. But, it just didn't turn out.
And it was set in Asgard, Oklahoma.
It was.
Should I think in the comics, wasn't Asgard in Oklahoma at one point?
I think it was, yeah. Nice pull.
Thank you. But yes, Sicario is also very good and very intense as well.
Yeah.
The sequel is also just as good, but not directed by that guy.
Have you not seen Blade Runner 2049?
I have not.
Oh, man.
I have never seen Blade Runner 1981 or whatever year
Holy
it came
shit.
out.
What? Are you serious? That's shocking to me.
I mean, it's one of those things that just never happened. And
okay.
It's also one of those things that is so ingrained into pop culture and in the circles and genres that I generally tend to lean into that I feel like I know all about it.
Okay.
So I've just never really felt the need to actually watch it.
All right, that's fair.
I mean, like if you were to pick it, in the future, I would not veto it, and I may even pick it at some point just to, finally scratch that off my list, but
right.
Yeah, it's just something that, it's not like I've actively avoided it, I just haven't seen it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, no, there's definitely movies like that for me as well.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't see Raiders of the Lost Ark until like 5 years ago, so.
Wow, really?
Yep.
Wow, okay.
Maybe it's a Harrison Ford thing, I don't know.
Maybe.
Has that guy been in anything else?
Have you seen Air Force One?
Actually, no.
All right, we're gonna do a month of Harrison Ford movies.
I'm okay with that
on this podcast.
I'm fine with that.
Excellent.
Yeah, but no, I so because of that, I have not seen Blade Runner 2049.
That makes sense.
I may see Dune when it eventually comes out. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't really have any interest in Dune as a thing.
Right.
If I were to see it, it would be because I like the people that are in it and I like the person making it.
Yeah, that is pretty much where I fall on that. I've seen the David Lynch version. It's not good.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Incredibly long. By far, not one of Lynch's greatest.
Yeah. Seems to be that's what I hear, that it's sort of at the bottom of the pile.
Yeah. And
or towards the bottom.
And he's definitely made some off-putting movies that I would definitely not say are great.
Yeah.
But I can definitely say about Dune that it's boring.
All right.
This movie, not quite so boring.
I did not find this movie boring at all. I found this movie fascinating.
I found it perplexing.
Yes, that is also a good word for it.
Just before we started recording, take out the 10 minutes that I was chasing around a cat.
Right.
We talked briefly about whether we watched this once or twice, and I watched it twice. I did find it a much more satisfying watch the second time around because I wasn't questioning everything as I did when I watched it the first time around.
See, I have only watched it once, and I think if I did watch it again, I might question things more than I did the first time around.
I mean,
or at least just be, have sort of a keener eye to look for things than I did the first time because I didn't know what I was looking for.
Right. Yeah, I think that's a totally fair thing to say about that. I mean, yeah, it's not like I was, just like, okay, I know exactly what's happening now. It was,
right.
Well, I know what happened the last time. And how did this happen with all the knowledge that I now have? And so it's like you've solved a mystery, but then you're going back to figure out how you solved that mystery.
Right.
And there's still, honestly, no real great answer at the end either. The second time around.
Right. Yeah, like I've tried to imagine parts, like watching parts of this movie again with whatever knowledge I have, having seen all of it. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I can't, I found it to be a satisfying movie to watch, but I can't imagine coming to a satisfying conclusion about what was happening, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, do you want to do a quick, just real quick sort of plot, at least just to get people into what we're talking about?
I mean, the very basics of this movie are pretty much written, in the Netflix synopsis.
Right.
A man watches a movie and sees someone who is his exact double. Becomes obsessed with him and tries to figure out who this person is and what their relationship might be. And then it gets real weird.
Yeah.
But it was also already pretty weird up to that point anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a strange movie.
Yep. So Jake Gyllenhaal plays 2 characters. Possibly.
I mean, in the credits, he's credited as 2 different people.
Yes.
Let's say that.
He is definitely living 2 different lives for sure.
Yeah.
One is as Adam Bell, a history professor at a local university in Canada. Mm-hmm. And the other is as, I guess, an actor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I guess we don't really know what his job is. We know that he has acted in the past.
Yes. Assuming that this movie takes place modern day, he has not been in any kind of movie since the mid 2000s.
Right.
So
yeah, and I think when Adam shows up to the talent agency, the guy, like the security guard, says he hasn't seen him in 6 months.
Right.
But he's saying that to Andrew, not to Adam. Anthony, that's right.
Anthony Clare. Yep. Yeah, so basically Adam Bell, the first 20 minutes or so of the movie is just sort of him living his life, which is pretty dull and repetitive. to the point where he gives the exact same lecture twice to the same class that he's teaching.
Yeah, I thought that was strange.
Yep.
I thought maybe he's got different groups of students, but it didn't appear to be different groups of
No,
students.
I believe it was the exact same group of students. Now, that just may be a film flub.
Oh!
It's like they couldn't afford to get two different groups to...
Wait, is this an episode of Cinema Sins?
Sure, I don't know what that is.
I don't know.
Okay, then.
I think Cinema Sins is like maybe a YouTube series or a website or something that just points out flaws in movies.
Okay, then.
You know, the worst people possible.
Sure. The Neil deGrasse Tysons of the world, if you will.
Exactly.
With less sexual assault.
Oh. Yep.
Maybe.
How is that guy not canceled?
I don't know.
Entirely.
I've never liked that guy.
Yeah. He just seems like a killjoy.
Mhm. Yep.
Like nobody wants to hang around with that guy.
Exactly. Nerd. Just a rapey nerd.
Yeah. Oh, so a nerd.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hey, we're nerds. We've, as far as I know, never raped anyone.
That's true. That is a true statement. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Going dark.
Enemy. Adam manages to track down Anthony, finds his home address, and gets his phone number, and is able to make contact first with his wife, who thinks that Adam is Anthony and is playing some sort of joke on her, and then eventually with Anthony himself, and then they meet.
Yeah.
And then shit gets crazy.
It was already a little crazy up to that point.
It was pretty crazy.
But yeah, they do meet, and turns out they may be the exact same person.
Yeah.
But also, they're still living two pretty separate lives.
Yeah.
But there's still enough vagueness about it that it could be a multiple personality thing. It could be they are the exact same person, like, one body. Because no one else in the movie ever sees them in the same place together.
Right.
There's a scene where Anthony's wife basically stalks Adam, and then immediately calls Anthony, who conveniently answers the phone just as Adam walks off screen.
Right. That was the most frustrating thing ever.
But it's revealed that they have the same scar on their chest, which at first, when that got mentioned, I was like, oh, maybe it's like a Siamese twin situation.
Yeah.
Separated at birth kind of thing, but it's the same scar in the exact same location on each of their chests.
Yeah, so that'd be a weird separation procedure. They're attached just below the nipple.
Yeah, I'm not sure biologically how that would work.
Yeah.
And they also possibly have the same mother?
Yeah,
Played by Isabella Rossellini for some reason.
Yes. Well, it's sort of like a David Lynch movie. Let's get someone from maybe the most famous David Lynch movie into into the movie just to really drive it home.
Fair.
Yeah, I feel like pretty early on, and I've only seen it once.
Sure.
But I feel like, for the first half of the movie, it seems like these are definitely different people.
Mm-hmm.
And then slowly as things progress, that becomes less clear. And I don't know. I just don't know.
Yeah, I don't either. I'm not even 100% sure that Denny Villeneuve knows either.
Right.
Possibly not even Jake Gyllenhaal.
Did you do any additional reading after watching the movie?
Yeah. I didn't really come up with much. Definitely nothing that has any definitive answers to any questions, such as why is there a giant spider invading Toronto? Or a giant tarantula taking up the entire bedroom of Anthony Clare and his wife.
Right. So I read some interviews with Gyllenhaal and Villeneuve from around when the movie came out.
All right.
So maybe I guess sort of take their answers, because it was, they're doing press for the movie. They want people to see it. They're probably not going to give things away.
Sure.
But the way that Jake Gyllenhaal described it was that it's about a guy who's married, who's cheating on his wife. So I guess in his mind, or at least the way that he was describing it, they're very definitely the same person.
I mean, there is a lot in the movie that lends that credence.
Mm-hmm.
Early after Adam first contacts Anthony's wife, accuses him of cheating again, meaning that, he has done so in the past.
Mm-hmm.
He is also conveniently talking to Adam on the phone, in a different room where she cannot hear the conversation, which could easily be construed as him talking to his mistress.
Right.
And Adam's apartment is very bare and basic, which is kind of a signifier of someone who possibly has a double life.
Mm-hmm.
And is...
Yeah, like he's just squatting in that place.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think he's paying rent, but, he's just not, it's basically his fuck pad.
Right.
As we all have.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I have several.
Of course you do.
Because I'm Mr. Moneybags.
Yep. I mean, it's been a long, hard quarantine.
It has.
You gotta find relief wherever you can.
Oh boy. But yeah. So there is definitely evidence that they are one and the same, and things that Adam's mom says make it seem like Anthony is maybe just another aspect of his personality or something.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm gonna be parsing this for a while, I think.
Yeah, and I mean, I'll even admit that towards the latter end of the movie, I almost got confused several times of which character he was supposed to be in any given scene.
Right. Yeah. And from what I read, that's totally on purpose.
Okay. Because, the scene where he does go visit his mother, it took me a second to try to figure out whether he was supposed to be Anthony or Adam.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's just little things like in that, like the blueberries thing.
Right.
Like earlier, Anthony had been complaining to his wife that they didn't have blueberries, and then Adam tells his mom that he doesn't like blueberries, even though she insists that he does.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the not so little thing where she tells him to give up acting.
Yeah.
you know, little stuff like that.
Right, yeah. Yeah, so then, the movie takes a slightly more sinister twist with Anthony deciding to somehow get revenge on Adam.
Right. Well, I don't, is he getting revenge, or he basically just like I get the sense that Anthony is just an asshole.
Well, there's definitely that. Yes.
So like, yeah, he basically stalks Adam and becomes enamored with his girlfriend.
Right.
And then concocts this plan to basically make it so that he can sleep with his girlfriend.
Right. Which is super gross.
It's real fucked. Yeah. That's rape, dude.
Yep. But and for some reason, Adam just allows him to go ahead and do it.
Yeah, I forget why he gives in so quickly. Right, no, because he had written. No, maybe that's in the book. I don't remember if that's in the movie. Like, there's something where like he wrote a letter to Anthony and signed it as his girlfriend. That may just be in the book then, not in the movie. Now that I think about it,
yeah, that is definitely not in the movie.
Okay, yeah, I read a synopsis of the book too, just to see how close it was.
Right.
And now I'm confusing them.
Oh, it's alright.
So yeah, I don't know why, other than he's just sort of a pushover, and Anthony is an aggressive personality.
Right. I mean, yeah, it's pretty much the basic of it. But then Adam decides that if Anthony's gonna go take over his life for a few days, then he's gonna go do the same to Anthony. Although he does it in a much more meek and rejected kind of way.
Right. Yeah, I really liked that. Because he tries to act like Anthony, but is it Helen or Helena?
Helena, I believe.
I forget. Yeah, Helena, who's Anthony's wife, just sees through it immediately.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
but also Anthony's an asshole, so she doesn't care.
Right. Yeah, Helena sees through it. There is no question about it. She knows that is not Anthony. Meanwhile, Mary, the Adam's girlfriend, doesn't realize it until a very critical moment.
Yes. Yeah. Mid coitus, yep. I believe,
yep.
is the term you could use.
Balls deep.
Oh boy. But yeah, she notices the ring indent on Anthony's finger from his wedding ring, right? Which is something she's never seen before,
right? Which takes away a little bit of the theory that they are the exact same person.
Yeah.
But, maybe he's just hit it better. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like when you have an indent on your carpets and you can just put an ice cube in there and it'll puff the carpet back up.
Is that a thing? I didn't know that.
I think that's a thing, yeah.
Huh. All right. I'll have to try that.
I mean, not a huge piece of ice because, you don't want it to just soak through. That'll be nasty.
No, I assume just like an ice cube.
Yeah. Yeah, and then the aftermath of that revelation takes yet another twist in the movie.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Adam, let's jump back to Adam real quick. Adam is having trouble sleeping.
Yeah.
So he goes to he like leaves the bedroom and goes and sits on the couch, and Helena comes to see what's wrong. Against knowing full well that it's not Anthony.
Right.
And then she initiates sex with him. So and basically tells him that she wants him to stay, which makes sense because Anthony's an asshole.
Sure.
But then while that's happening, Anthony and Mary, you said her name
Yes.
was. She makes him bring her home basically from the motel that they've gone to,
Yeah.
and while they're in the car, they get into a physical fight.
Yeah.
And there is a horrible car accident,
Yes.
and they both die.
We assume. Yes.
We assume.
Yeah. And then things still take a turn for the weird.
We haven't even mentioned the sex club.
Nope. Was just about to get to that, maybe. Because that is how the movie opens.
Yes.
Well, sort of. There's a very quick blink and you'll miss it frame of Helena naked. And then we see one of the Jake Gyllenhaals going to some sort of underground sex club.
Yeah, some sort of Eyes Wide Shut party thing.
Yeah, it's real creepy.
Yeah. Also, I definitely didn't see that blink and you'll miss it frame.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
I must have blinked.
You must have.
Because I missed
Yeah.
it.
It is definitely there. The second time around, I made sure that I caught it.
Nice.
And it is Helena just like naked on a bed.
Okay.
But then, yeah, it's an immediate cut to Jake Gyllenhaal walking down a darkened hall with his security guard buddy.
Yeah, the whatever from the building where he lives. Yep. Assuming that is Anthony.
Yeah, assuming.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Or is it?
We don't know, because as it turns out, things repeat.
Yeah, so, yeah. Yeah, is this movie just an infinite loop?
It might be.
I don't know. I don't know anything.
No, not at all. And what's weird is the way the movie ends. I think if it had been any other movie, I would just be pissed off.
Yeah.
Or I would just feel real dumb for having not gotten anything. I don't necessarily feel real dumb about this movie.
Yeah.
But I definitely don't know anything, and I, for some reason, not angry. The tone of my voice may betray that.
No, I'm glad to hear that you're not angry at this movie. Because that would be unfortunate.
Yeah. I feel like movies that just sort of end with, just a real vague nothing just generally piss me off.
Yeah.
Japanese horror movies tend to do that a lot.
Okay.
And I forget, my friend and I were discussing a movie the other day, and he mentioned a movie that sort of ends like that and how much he loved it, and I was like, oh, that would just infuriate me. But this didn't. I mean, I did verbally say, what the fuck?
Oh, I definitely did as well. I may have also thrown my hands in the air.
I don't know if I threw them all the way in the air. I definitely, placed them on my head.
Well, I also waved them around like I just didn't care.
Well,
So
I mean, that's what you have to do if you're.
it was a whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, I believe it's a law.
I believe you're right. So yeah, the very end of the movie is Jake Gyllenhaal, Adam, I guess, receiving the new key for the sex club.
Yes.
And then he, from the other room, he tells Helena that he's gonna, like, he's sort of settling into his life here as her husband now.
Yes.
And he tells her that he's gonna go out that evening, and she doesn't respond. So he, walks over towards the bedroom, and rounds the corner and sees a giant fucking tarantula that is the size of the room.
Yes.
That sort of rears back a little bit from him like it's scared.
Yep.
And he just sort of sighs. The end.
Yep. Credits. and a jaunty little tune plays.
Yeah. And we get a nice little tour of Toronto.
Yeah.
Oh, holy shit, this movie.
So between that, again, there's just a shot of the Toronto skyline where there just appears to be a giant alien spider invading, like midway through the movie.
Right.
And then in that opening sex club scene, we see a woman wearing stiletto heels, unveiling a tarantula on a silver platter. Then she is about to crush it.
Right.
So I'm not sure what any of that means.
So I did some reading.
Okay.
And what I read is that the spiders apparently represent fascism.
Okay.
And sort of the key of the movie is the lecture that he gives at the beginning about fascism and the tools that it uses to come to power, erasing, stifling art and creativity and individualism, and basically you don't recognize it until it's sort of too late type thing. And then basically what I read anyway is that the spiders and sort of web imagery that's used throughout the movie, like there are shots of the cables for the cable cars that run throughout Toronto. Mm-hmm. And there's a shot of, after the car crash, the front windshield of the car is smashed into a spider's web. And then obviously the actual spiders themselves. Basically that all represents sort of being overtaken by fascism.
Huh. Well, that's interesting.
Yeah, I didn't get any of that at all myself while watching the movie.
Nope, me neither. I mean, the second time around, listening to his opening lecture, 4 different times, I definitely felt parallels with what he was saying with, the current situation in the world.
Yeah, I definitely felt that as well. Which was sad.
Yeah. But, also this movie came out, 2-3 years before the current hot shit that is happening right now.
Yes, 2014, I believe, is when this movie came out.
So either he was very prescient about what was coming, or Canada is just a real fascist place.
Maybe I don't know. And I think I read this movie was actually made before Prisoners. Huh. So this may have been 2011, 2012 that this movie was made.
Oh, weird.
But yeah, I don't usually think of Canada as a hotbed of fascist tendencies, but what do I know? I don't live there.
That is true. I mean, I've learned, very recently about, there's also, there's systematic racism everywhere, but, I've learned recently about, some of the stuff in Canada, particularly against, indigenous people. But yeah, the stereotype of Canada is just, super friendly, eh?
Oh, yeah.
Beer and hockey. There is no beer or hockey in this movie.
There's not. No. I was shocked.
Yeah. I will say this. I found it pleasing and weird that this movie was just blatantly set in Canada.
Yeah.
Whereas, like a lot of movies, particularly with, big Hollywood stars, generally just tend to use Canada as, someplace in America.
Yeah.
But no, they were just in Canada. It was, you don't see that too often outside of, just a David Cronenberg movie.
That's true. Well, I think, it was like produced by a Canadian production company. Is that maybe? I feel like there's French Canadian credits.
Yeah, oh yeah. Well,
at the beginning.
I believe the director is possibly French Canadian.
I think he might be. Yeah. But yeah, I've been to Toronto a few times. And I really love it. And this movie made me wistful to go back at some point when the world is not closed.
Well, sure. Assuming you're allowed to go back anywhere.
Assuming, yeah. Fingers crossed.
Yep. Vote blue.
Yes, please, God. Do something, anyone.
Seriously.
Anyway,
so this movie's real fucked up.
Yeah, I feel like the only thing that I can really say definitively about this movie is that Jake Gyllenhaal is fantastic in it.
I wholeheartedly agree. If I had to say anything negative about this movie, because even just saying that it's confusing and weird is not negative.
Yeah, definitely not. I love that.
Oh yeah. I would just say that, and I guess it's part of the story itself, but the female characters really don't have much of a role or agency in anything that's happening.
That's true. Helena, I think, has a little bit more.
A little bit, yeah.
And when the focus shifted to her a bit more, I was a lot. I wouldn't say more interested, but I was very interested in what her experience of all of that was.
Right.
But yeah, I agree. The female characters could definitely have been given more to do.
Yeah.
Like Mary is basically not a non-character at all.
But also, up until the ending when she essentially gets raped. She's she's just kind of a filler role, I guess.
Yeah. Does she even exist?
That's entirely that's a very good question. Do we exist?
I don't know.
Are we the same person?
We might be.
Am I just, or are you just doing this podcast on your own? And
yes.
Oh man.
Oh, where'd that giant spider come from?
Oh, shit! Get out.
Oh man. I feel like I could talk about this movie for a long time and never really get anywhere with it.
Nope, absolutely not.
But I really enjoyed it.
I did as well. I would highly recommend it, even though we've just basically told everybody every last detail of this.
I think we describe plot details, but there's more to this movie than just the plot.
Oh, yeah.
It's figuring out what that is.
It's definitely worth watching no matter what.
Yeah. And of course, by the time this episode comes out, it will no longer be on Netflix. But maybe it'll be on Amazon Prime or something.
It's possible.
It's worth checking out.
Yeah. Hoopla, or just rent it for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
It's
yeah. Maybe your local library will be open by the time this comes out.
I think libraries are open now. Sadly,
that's true. I suppose. I suppose some of them are.
Yeah. My an ex-lady friend of mine works at a library, and they opened last week to the public, to the general public. They had been open a few weeks prior to that, maybe in a month, but they were just doing like curbside service.
Yeah,
but now they're letting people in and use computers and do things.
Are they requiring masks at least?
They did on the first day.
Okay.
And then somebody complained. What's bringing you joy this week, Joe?
Oh. Shit. I don't know that it's bringing me joy, but I'm enjoying it. Okay. We've been watching the third season of Fargo.
Okay.
On Hulu, because we had not watched that yet. And I find it to be delightful.
Is that the Ewan McGregor season?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. Ewan McGregor as two people.
Yep.
Mary Elizabeth Winstead. Yeah, right? They're actual twins. People see them in the same place.
Yeah, it's true.
But yeah, also has Mary Elizabeth Winstead, Carrie Coon, David Thewlis, and I think you mentioned when we talked about A Serious Man, Michael Stuhlbarg is in it as well.
Yes, he is.
So yeah, that's been entertaining me. I don't know that I'd say it brings me joy, because it's a stressful show, but it's really good.
Yeah, that counts.
Yeah. So yeah, Fargo. That's what I got this week.
All right, that works.
What about you?
As for me, my friend Bruce has been mentioning this show to me for months, and I just kind of kept telling him, you know what? There's just too much shit to watch, and I'm probably just not going to watch it. But
that's fair.
I broke, and I finally started watching it, and it much like you with Fargo, it is. I am enjoying it. I wouldn't say it brings me joy, because it is a vile and filthy show, featuring just an awful human being as a lead character. It is called Brockmire.
Okay, I've heard of that.
Yeah, starring Hank Azaria and Amanda Peet.
Yeah.
He is an alcoholic baseball announcer whose life has just hit rock bottom, and he is making attempts to try to salvage what he can. But he is just awful.
Well, that sounds delightful.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
It is filthy and just vulgar, but I laugh hard at it.
Excellent.
So yeah, that's what I'm enjoying. That's on Hulu. So
nice. All right, I will check that out.
Alrighty then. So I guess I should pick a movie.
I guess you should.
Okay. I'm picking a movie that I've seen.
Okay.
It has been probably 20 years or so since I've seen it, though.
Okay.
But I remember it. Just to warn you, it was real stressful.
Okay.
It is on Netflix. I believe it's fairly new to Netflix, so it shouldn't be going off in the next week or two.
Okay, I'll double check just to be sure.
It should still be there for hopefully a while. But it is called Session 9.
Okay.
It stars David Caruso.
Yeah, I think I think that I saw that in a recently added list.
Okay.
And saw that David Caruso was in it and was like, I'm good. But I will totally watch it.
Well, I will just go ahead and tell you now, he is just a supporting character. But
okay, that's good.
Yeah, he is also like the biggest name in the movie, though.
Gotcha. Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Is it what type of movie is it, or should I know nothing about it before I go in?
It's labeled as a horror movie.
Okay.
But it's not straight up horror.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
That works for me.
That's it. Yep.
All right. Session 9.
Session 9.
Excellent. Right. Will I have to have seen sessions 1 through 8 first to understand what's going on?
If you can find them, or just read up on the wikis on them.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, I think that'll do you. It's definitely the best one out of the franchise.
That's crazy. You'd think they usually go down in quality as you get towards the end.
Those movies and the Chucky movies, they just got better as they kept going.
Good to know.
And I am 100% serious about the Chucky movies.
I believe you. Oh boy. Yeah. All right, session 9.
Session 9. Alrighty, I'm going to go turn my air conditioner back on because I am hot.
All right. And I'm going to go eat dinner because I am hungry.
Enjoy it.
You too.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Thank you for listening to The Viewmasters. You can subscribe to the show directly at view.guttertrash.net or at iTunes and leave us a review. Visit view.guttertrash.net for email information and links to Facebook and Twitter. We'll see you next time on The Viewmasters.